everybody, hope you're all well. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a new video. I am back with some DIYs for you today. It has been a while, but as you can see, I am filming up in the loft room. I hope it's not too echoey because there's not much furniture in here yet. In case you missed the loft tour, I will link that down in the description box, but I have been making the most of the space and the daylight up here to crack on with some DIYs, and I've got some brand new autumn DIY crafts that you can do at home. Most of the stuff is really cheap that I'm using. I'm actually also using some pieces from previous years, so I'm actually doing a bit of an upcycle on some old DIYs and reusing the materials that I used for those too. But hopefully it's all stuff that you can easily get your hands on at a local bargain store near to you, or you might already have some of the bits already knocking around the home that you can use to make some of these too. So I hope it gives you some inspiration, and I hope it gives you some nice activities to do on a rainy autumn afternoon, which is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. Before we get cracking with the DIYs, I want to say thank you to today's sponsor, which is Blinkist. Blinkist is something that I actually use when I'm doing my crafting. I like to have something to listen to, and in case you haven't heard of Blinkist already, essentially it's an app that takes the key information from non-fiction books and condenses all of that information into 15-minute audio or text explanations called Blinks. So it's a really good way to expand your knowledge on a really wide range of different topics and areas, and I find it really helpful because I can just pop one on while I'm doing some crafts, or often while I'm doing some cleaning as well. So it's a good way to feel like you're multitasking and you're making the most of your time. I'm not the best when it comes to reading, so I find this app really helpful because it breaks down the books and gives you a flavour of them. I feel like it's a bit of a try before I buy or try before I read. And as you can see, when you open it up, I have some recommendations here. So it will suggest things that it thinks that you will like. And in my library, you can see the books that I've saved that I fancy having a listen to. So we have Emotional Intelligence, Stillness is the Key, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I think that one will be perfect to have a listen to while I'm doing a good declutter. And I'm also looking forward to listening to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a, I won't say the word, and also Becoming by Michelle Obama. I've heard both of those are brilliant. So I've just finished listening to The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins, which is all about not procrastinating and working for myself, working from home for a lot of the time. I found this one really helpful because it basically gives you a technique just to crack on with things. With the duration of these being so compact, I found them really good to listen to when I'm commuting. So if I'm jumping on the bus or the tube, they're a really nice short amount of time that I can get involved with something and actually complete it. And if you're somebody that prefers to actually read the text, then you can opt to do that. And that's really handy too if you're out and about, for example, maybe on the train and you've forgotten your headphones. Right now, Blinkist have a special offer just for my viewers. If you click the link in the description box, you can start your free 7-day trial, and you will also get 25% off a premium membership with Blinkist. So thank you very much to Blinkist for sponsoring today's video. And now, a quick sip of the coffee and we'll get cracking with the DIYs. So let's start off with a wreath, and I'm actually using a wreath that I made last year. I made it with some Poundland polystyrene pumpkins, which I had chopped in half and attached to this spider's web to use as a frame. So you could do something similar. You could use an old coat hanger for the frame or just some wire, and we'll think of something else to do with the spider. But I started off going on with some white paint just to cover up the lettering that was on the pumpkins, as I didn't want that to be part of this DIY. And then I went ahead and mixed some paints together to make an orange, although I seem to have forgotten how to mix my colours, because first of all I made a red, then I added too much black and made a brown. Anyway, I got there in the end and made this really nice kind of burnt orange colour, which I really like to paint the pumpkins with. So you could just experiment with this and mix some different acrylic paints to get the orange of your choosing, or you could go for a more neutral colour if you wanted to. Next up, I'm going on with some of this Hessian strip that I got from Lidl. It was really reasonable and it came from the garden section. It's to be used in gardens, but I thought it would be a really nice backing for the DIY. So I was just overlapping it and gluing it into place, and that was really simple, and this is how it turned out. Next up, I'm taking one of these ceramic candle holders that came from Poundland. I really liked the shape of these. You might be able to find something similar in a thrift shop or a charity shop as well. And then I'm going on with some hot glue and wrapping around some garden twine into all the creases of the pumpkin, and I knotted it off, and yeah, I thought it looked quite cool hanging actually. I thought you could maybe add some little plants into there and hang it up, but instead I'm going on with some of these glittery pumpkins that you can pick up in Poundland, and also some conkers, which I found locally. If you have a horse chestnut tree near to you, you'll be able to find some of those. And I just alternated them to arrange them on top of the pumpkin, and finished it with some artificial leaves that I picked up from the works. And here's how it turned out. Next up, we're going to make some bunting. I found this in Poundland, but you could of course make your own with some fabric scraps. And again, I'm going on with these artificial leaves. I guess you could use real leaves if you found some dried ones. I'm just arranging them first to alternate them between the reds and the nice orange and the greens, just so that they kind of alternate and match, but you could of course put them on any order that you liked. I also found these sequins in the craft section, and I cut them out to kind of make some acorn kind of shapes. That's the kind of vibe I was going for anyway. I just thought a little bit of sparkle would add to this bunting, and I think it really did add to it. It looks really nice when it catches the evening sun and that glitters a bit. So yeah, I was really pleased with how this one turned out, and it was so easy to do. The next one, I'm taking apart an old DIY. This one was a sock over a hair donut. I think that's what you call it, a hair bun donut that I picked up in Poundland. I'm also using the Hessian strip again, and I'm just wrapping it around. If you didn't have one of these sponge hair bun thingies, you could always maybe stuff an old pair of tights or use an old sock, or wrap up some newspaper, anything that can create this kind of pumpkin shape. I guess you could use an old bath sponge as well, something like that. But after I wrapped it in the strip, I went on with some string as well, just to give it an extra kind of dimension. And when the string ran out, I just glued on a new bit and continued wrapping it around until the whole pumpkin was fully wrapped up. For the pumpkin stalk, I took another piece of the string and glued it onto the Hessian strip. I wanted to make the pumpkin stalk nice and chunky because pumpkin stalks are nice and chunky, so I thought that would look good. And I just pulled it through using the string into position, and that just sits inside. This was a really simple one, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Although now looking at it, I'm thinking I should have added a leaf maybe at the top. But there we are. Let me know what you think of it in the comments. For the next one, I'm taking one of these candles that I picked up from Poundland, and actually had one from a previous DIY where I painted it gold, so I thought I would use that one for this, as the colour goes really nicely with the autumn leaves. And then this guy, this spooky glass, I also picked up for £1, and I thought he would look great situated on the top. Kind of reminds me of Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, and don't use a real candle in here. I'm just doing that for the effect, but please use an LED because I think the glass would crack. So there we go, that is all of the autumn DIYs. Let me know in the comments which one was your favourite, and if you have a go at any of these, I would absolutely love to see how you get on. So don't forget to tag me in your pictures on Instagram. It's Mr. Carrington or Mr. Carrington Home. I'll be sure to share some of those on my stories too. So yeah, I can't wait to see how you get on with those if you do give them a go. Thank you again to Blinkist for sponsoring today's video. If you want to try out Blinkist for yourself, don't forget I do have that exclusive offer for you where you can start your free 7-day trial. You'll also get that 25% off premium membership. All the information is in the description box. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to click subscribe if you're new here for new videos every single week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.